Today on the Dennis Michael Lynch Show, Iran in fire. I mean, real fire, and President Trump is making warnings about it. Plus, the Democrats have officially launched a war against law and order. We have so much for you today, so strap in there because it's going to be all unfiltered.
Dennis Michael Lynch gives you his word, and he will never let you down. He will always fight for America.
The only one who really puts his money where his mouth is Dennis Michael Lynch.
Hello, I'm Dennis Michael Lynch, and I thank you for joining me today. Hope you had a great weekend. We had a very good one on our end. I want to first say that finally, all the DML CBD orders that we have taken over the past 6 to 7 weeks since we turned things around and just said, hey, we're giving it away for $20 a bottle. I mean, we got swamped. So we finally finished the orders this weekend. Shipping today, tomorrow, we're finished with it. So if you've been waiting, fantastic. If you want to get in on that for the next year, we are going to be continuing it. We're going to give it away for $20. Stuff that sold for $200, $180, $85, all $20. The best way to be a part of that, simply go to teamdml.com and become a Team DML member. We're only going to do it for Team DML members going forward because we're going to have such limited product supply. So go to teamdml.com. Also, I mean, I can't tell you how many people I have heard from over the last 4 or 5 days. I'm new to the show. I love the show. I can't believe I didn't find you. Lottie-dottie-dottie. And they said, I had one woman yesterday. I haven't gotten you for the last 3 days on Facebook. Well, yeah, because Facebook's not going to put you in the feed every single time. So the greatest way, and we've designed this so easy for people, the greatest way to make sure you get every video, every article, every newsletter, every show is simply go to teamdml.com, become a member for $20 for an entire year. You pay one time and never again. And you get alerted and you get every single last show, every piece of content we do, plus live chat and so many other features. So just go to teamdml.com. Help us grow so this way we could help you. Speaking of Team DML, I received an email over the weekend as well from a Ginger Farino asking for prayers. She has been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And so she said, please, I'm asking for prayers. So I ask you to please say a prayer today for Ginger, like I did this morning, that she can beat the ugly cancer and be back to feeling 100%. So I want to start off by saying that going back during the summer, early summer, if you remember, the big, huge debate was about Iran. Do we bomb Iran? Do we take out their nuclear facilities? And I was all in. There were other podcasters, other pundits, other people who have the blue check marks and a couple of million people next to their name who warned you that this was going to be the start of World War III. It was going to be the end of civilization as we know it. American soldiers, American Marines, American military were going to die, and there was no need for this. And I made a big argument pushing back. I said, no, there is a need for this. First of all, nobody's going to die. We're so advanced in terms of what we can do. Nobody's going to die. If anybody dies, it's going to be on the Iranian side. Next is, you know, the United States is always chasing problems. They never get in front of them. In fact, a lot of today's show will be a proof to the pudding that says, yeah, we're always chasing these problems. Trump wants to get in front of some of these problems. And I think people failed to recognize how dangerous a nuclear Iran would be. And we don't want to be in a situation where, you know, one of these Netflix movies that we watch about how the world's going to come to an end, you know, where all of a sudden you get the sirens and you realize that you and your family have about 20 minutes to say goodbye to each other because there's nuclear warheads heading our way. And, oh, shucks, our defense missile systems didn't work correctly. It is a guarantee that that's the sort of thing that would happen. So for us to get in front of this, it wasn't that we were doing it 1,000% because we're controlled by Israel. It's because the Iranians have told us, without question, without doubt, repeatedly, that they want to eviscerate Israel and the United States. And the greatest way for them to eviscerate Israel is if there is a division between our country and the Israelis. I didn't buy into the whole Israel is controlling anything. I said, hey, we've known for a long time about Iranian nuclear program. It goes all the way back to Obama. He put that stupid freaking nuke agreement that was nothing. It was just a piece of paper that had absolutely no real restrictions to it. So when you added it all up, I thought Trump was doing the right thing, and he did it. And it turns out to be that, as people like me were saying, there was going to be no price to pay. And people like Tucker Carlson made complete fools of themselves, which they always seem to do. And for whatever reason, people always seem to forget that. They still tune into the show, which is just crazy to me. But crazy is what crazy does. Well, now we're facing something different with Iran, if you want to say that. I don't think we're facing anything with Iran personally. But Marco Rubio and the president, who I fully support in most everything they do, they are looking at the protests in Iran, and they are saying that we may have to get involved. Trump continues to threaten Iran that says we are ready to take military action if you keep on shooting and killing your protesters. So I'm going to show you a video here. Get it ready, Ryan. This is video number 1. There are protesters throughout Iran. And the reason why this started, these protests started at the end of December, because basically the Ayatollah and that entire Iranian regime, which is over-the-top crazy Sharia Muslim law, that is basically what runs Iran. It is all on Sharia law. It is corrupt. Iran, because of its corruption and because of its crazy theology, has been sanctioned up and down the aisle, and the people of Iran are paying dearly for it. Their economy is crumbled. They are living a life that is, they're lucky that they have air to breathe. That's how restrictive it is. And Muslims are in the streets fighting against the Muslim regime. And I don't see any reason why we need to get involved in this at all. Now, protesters are getting killed. In fact, what you can do, Ryan, play that first video. Instead of standalone, just play it as B-roll. Ryan's going to show you B-roll. The people in Iran who are protesting are literally getting shot by the Iranian army. And Trump, who is by and large a peaceful guy, wants to have peace throughout the region, wants to have peace throughout the world, he's saying, hey, we're not going to stand by and let this happen. We're going to get involved. Well, if we're going to have involvement in this, my approach would be, hey, Israel, this is your problem. This is your neighbor. They want you dead. Spend some of that money we've given you, spend some of your own money, and buy an incredible amount of guns from us. Load yourself up. And then you give those guns to the civilians in Iran. We don't want any part of this. Iran is not our neighbor. We've done our part in sanctioning them. You take care of this and get it solved. If these people in Iran are really passionate about toppling the regime, they want to get rid of the Ayatollah, well, let them continue. Let's really see the fight that they say they have in them. We need to be nowhere near this because there's no reason why we need to take any sort of military action. This is not a threat to the United States. And people every day around the world are killed by their own governments. Is this our new practice? Are we now going to look at the governments from around the world and go after every country to where their citizens are killed by government? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me because in many cases in Saudi Arabia and in Qatar, two places that Trump is continuously doing deals with and praising, those people are psychotic when it comes to their rule of law, on what they do to people. Are we going to go into Bangladesh next? I just watched a man get burned at the stake because Muslims didn't like the fact that he said something negative about Allah. And even then, it was said that that was a lie, that the man really had a workplace issue with his boss, and his boss changed the story around so this way he could just get rid of this guy. So I don't see a reason why we need to intervene. We have a lot of problems here at home. We're going to show you the videos of those problems. We've got protests, massive protests taking place in the streets from city to city because we're trying to enforce the rule of law, immigration law. And so now we're going to get involved in Iran. The other problem that happens here, and it's a big problem, is that there is a lot of anti-Israel commentary going throughout social media, especially with our youngsters, because the young people of this country are struggling. They're not getting ahead. And all they see is that our resources, both human and financial, keep on getting placed into other countries around the world, and they're throwing their arms up. And because there has been such an incredible movement of propaganda against Israel, which I know stems back to the Muslim world, if we do something like this, we're only going to put more burden on Israel when it comes to their relations with the United States, because the young people and many other people as well, regardless of age, are going to say, here we go again. We're getting involved to protect the Israelis and to protect Israel. Why are we doing this? And so I think this is a very, very bad move on President Trump and on Marco Rubio. And so, I want to, look, we don't know what the total number of people killed are. I mean, I have some notes here. I want to give them to you. There are some reports that it's 180 people, other people that I'd say it's over 500 people. And one of the reasons is that we don't know that certain thing is because the Iranians were turning off the internet. Well, thank goodness to Elon Musk and Starlink, now that they could still get their videos up there. But Iran leadership is trying to make it so this way the world doesn't know what's happening. And so, and as you saw the video that Ryan played, it's grotesque. And the people, these are everywhere. Who are these people? From what we can tell, it is the local merchant, the local student, the local family, people who are saying we want our freedom. And so they're rising up, and God bless them for rising up, because the Ayatollah is scum. Let them do it. Let us, through Israel, supply these people with the weapons so this way they're not throwing rocks against bullets. I get it. And it's horrible to hear that people are dying, but people are dying all over the world all the time. You know where else people are dying? People are dying here in the United States. South Chicago, East St. Louis, L.A., Oakland. We've got our problems here. We've got a tremendous amount of gangs here. The amount of gang murders every single year. Why aren't we cleaning up the gangs? Let's do that. Let's focus in on our own territory. That's all I'm saying. Because I look at what's going around with the ICE and the pushback on ICE, and the only way to solve that is to throw more ICE members at it. But let's put our resources at home. Nothing is going to come out of good of going into Iran. I also want to give you a little bit about Iran, okay? So this way, in case you don't understand what it is that we're dealing with over there. First of all, population of Iran, 93 million. 99% of those people are what's called Shia Islam. They are Shias versus the Sunnis. And the Shias, well, they're both. It's both Islam. Islam never works. It doesn't matter. But that's basically what it is. Shia takes up about 90%, 10% is Sunni. All right? Very few other religions in there. The GDP, meaning all the revenue that happens in that country, is about, at the height, $2 trillion. But, and this is part of why you're seeing the protests, all that growth, there's no growth in Iran. In fact, there is it is degrowthing, if you will, for a word. And that's because there's such heavy sanctions on Iran because of the way that the Ayatollah and leadership are driving that country. And it is a total, complete nightmare for the Iranian people. They're seeing their country go to hell. And I mean hell, because petroleum, oil, natural gas, even manufacturing in Iran that is centered around textiles and construction materials and food processing and metals, everything is going to the crapper because of the sanctions. And U.S. sanctions include a broad embargo on trade, investment, and financial dealings with Iran. So they're getting circled by all ends. And the people are feeling it. But you know what? The Ayatollah doesn't feel it because any money that is coming into Iran, it's going to the leadership. And so the people are getting their asses kicked. Now, if you want to go to Iran, the U.S. State Department says do not travel there. It's too dangerous. It's a level 4. But why the hell would you be going to Iran anyway? Why go to Iran? But I'll tell you this, Iranians are coming here. I don't know why we have a need to feel like we need to take people in from Iran, but we're taking them. Listen to these numbers. First of all, they come in through all different things. Refugee status, diversity, visa lottery, which I've told you a million times we need to get rid of. That is, people apply, they put your name into a frickin' like a bingo machine, and they literally pull out 50,000 names every single year. Well, collectively, every single year since 2020, every fiscal year since 2020, the minimum we've taken, 7,000. The maximum, 10,000 Iranians every single year, including fiscal year 2025. I don't understand why we're taking these people in. And I can tell you now, we're going to talk about protests that took place yesterday in LA. Los Angeles, California is the number one place for Iranians in the world after Iran. So if you said to me, hey, DML, where are all the Iranians? Well, they're in Iran, and the ones that aren't there, they're in Los Angeles, California. Where are we benefiting from this? Explain where we're benefiting from this, because I don't understand. And in fact, when you look back, we should have been cutting everything off to Iran. But instead, what Obama did, do you remember Obama running pallets of cash to Iran? Yeah, because I'll give you the notes here. $400 million cash payment delivered on pallets to Iran in 2016 from Obama. So he's empowering these scumbags. And it turned out to be, when the total thing was all done, it was billions of dollars that was given to them. All right. So, and this goes back because Obama said the payment was made to settle a long-standing dispute dating back to 1979 when Iran prepaid for U.S. military equipment that was never delivered due to the Islamic Revolution and the freezing of assets. Can you believe this? So Obama said he would always side with the Muslims. Don't ever forget that. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, Obama did everything he possibly could to destroy this country, including giving one of our top enemies around the world money, giving them back their money. Hey, we screwed you. We're sorry about this. The same people burning our flag, warning that they're going to nuke us every other day. We're going to give them the money to do it. Who does that? What an idiot. What a total idiot. I don't want to be doing anything with Iran. I do not want at all for President Trump to be going down that direction. There is absolutely no need for it. There's no need for any of this. We don't need these people. Marco Rubio said the other day when talking about Venezuela, we don't need Venezuelan oil. We have plenty of our own oil, especially now with President Trump back in place. We are producing oil. We don't need that. We don't need those resources. So if we don't need the oil, we certainly don't need to go into Iran. We don't. And we don't need more people. Ryan is going to play right now for you over my voice. This was over the weekend in Newark, New Jersey. At Town Hall, they are lifting the Iranian flag. Explain to me why we need the Iranian flag to be lifted while the people are chanting Allahu Akbar. What the hell is going on here? We are losing our country, chipping away in this crazy, stupid thought process that we need to have more diversity and that we need to open our arms and take the world in. We're eliminating any chance of long-term survival. Going to lift and hoist the Iranian flag and celebrating them. The same thing with Kathy Hochul did the other day in New York, down by Ground Zero, putting 2 blue lights up in celebration of Islam. I've told you on this show a gazillion times, they want to take over. and they're hell-bent on doing it, and we're giving them all the energy, all the power, all the necessity, all the tools. Over the weekend, yesterday, there was a protest in Los Angeles. I just told you, Los Angeles is the number one home for Iranians other than Iran. For some reason, we need to have Iranians all over Los Angeles, as if that wasn't a problem enough. Ryan is going to play. Before you do it, Ryan, let me set up here for what people are going to see. Yesterday, hundreds of protesters showed up in Los Angeles to support the Iranian people who are fighting against the Ayatollah. And a U-Haul truck with all Arabic signage, and I'll tell you about some of it, on the side of it, decided that it was going to interfere with this protest. The truck is seen running through the crowd. Somebody did get hurt. We'll get into it. But ultimately, you'll see what happened there. So Ryan played. I'm going to give people what the details on this were. So on Sunday, somebody drove a U-Haul truck down a street crowded with marchers demonstrating in support of the Iranian people, causing protesters to scramble out of the way and then run after the speeding vehicle tried to attack. Run after the speeding vehicle. They ran after it, and they went after the driver. They ultimately stopped the truck, and they caught him. So basically, you'll see in the video that they're pulling this guy. They want to pull this guy out of the truck. It's almost like a Rodney King situation again. And they are just going to beat the living crap out of him. Police did get involved. We don't know who this driver is and who paid for him to be there or whoever put him up to it. But basically, one person was hit by the truck. Thankfully, they're not dead. They'll be okay. There was a banner on the side of the truck which basically said, "No Shah, no regime, USA don't repeat 1953." Which basically is there was a U.S.-backed coup that year in 1953 that helped toppled the then prime minister. And the August 1953 coup stemmed from the United States' fears over the Soviet Union increasingly wanting a piece of Iran as communists agitated within the country. So basically, it comes down to what we're seeing in L.A. is an extension of our crazy, no need for it immigration policies, where we keep on taking in people. These people come in, they cause havoc, they cause chaos, and we pay for it all. We pay for it in terms of everything: money, lives lost, distractions. I mean, think about what it is that is happening right now throughout the streets of the United States, in all of our major cities. What's happening? Our ICE agents are basically trying to get rid of the illegal aliens and the fraudsters that we have allowed into this country for the past 40 years. Nobody asked for this. Nobody asked for this at all. And the fraud is so enormous, whether it's fraud from illegal aliens, whether it's fraud from these refugees that we've brought in from Somalia and Lord knows where else. You know, Minnesota, as I've said to you before, is just the tip of the iceberg. It is going to get so much more worse as more people pull out the Nick Shirley camera style. You know, there are people now going to California to look into that. There are people who are now looking deep into New York. And tomorrow's show, I'm going to show you the epicenter of fraud. We are going to show you the epicenter of fraud, and it all is in New York. So Minnesota is going to be the pimple on the ass's elephant. Trust me when I tell you. And so this fraud is being used, as far as I'm concerned, as part of the war, the Democrats' war on the United States, the Democrats' war on law and order. You know, there's a thing called the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act right now is sitting in the Senate. The House already passed it. It's waiting for the Senate to get it through. It will go on Trump's desk. He'll sign it. It will go into law. And every single state within the United States will have to follow suit. You will need voter ID in order to vote in a federal election. All the voter rolls will have to be cleaned of non-citizens. Anybody who does not check an ID, any election workers, they would be held accountable. This is the sort of thing we need to put into place, not only to win 2026, but to ensure that our elections have a greater chance of being fair long term. In order to be able to do that, the GOP in the Senate would have to nuke the filibuster because you need 60 votes to get this through to the president's desk. And they can't get the 60 votes because obviously we don't have 60 Republicans, and the Democrats are not going to sign on to this. And I've already done a show on this, so I'm not going to belabor this. But if we don't sign this now, if we don't kill the filibuster now, and I've always supported the filibuster staying in place because, be careful what you wish for. You want it today? Well, you're also going to get it tomorrow, by the way. We may not have a tomorrow. We may not have a tomorrow as conservatives and Republicans to keep this country on a trajectory that Trump is trying to take it. And that is towards being great again. If we lose 2026, it's going to be the start of hell, and we'll probably lose 2028. We got to do it now. Because if we don't do it now, if you think the fraud is bad with daycare, autism, feeding, whatever welfare program you want to put into place, if you think the Democrats are only focusing on carrying out that kind of fraud, you're nuts. You know and I know that they're doing everything they can fraudulently to win all the elections. They did it in 2020. They didn't do it this last go around because they hadn't figured out how to do it. But trust me when I tell you 2026, they are going to pull out all the stops they possibly can. Long term, especially with AI and everything being digital era, all these immigrants and these illegals that are in here, we will end up losing every single time. We need to get in front of this now. Trump's begging for it, and yet Senator Thune is just looking like a deer in headlight. If we don't get in front of all the fraud, we are done. Wait until you hear this clip from Joni Ernst, Senator Ernst out of Iowa, was on Fox News. Listen to what Ilhan Omar tried to get passed in a new spending bill. It is going to blow your mind. Play it, Ryan.
Covered the other day, and one of our spending bills making its way through Congress was a $1 million earmark from Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota, which was an earmark that was supposedly going to a substance abuse clinic, which actually happened to be housed in a restaurant and run by 3 individuals that share the same residential address, according to their IRS paperwork. Tons of red flags. So this is what we saw with the fraud involving the daycare centers. Now we see other earmarks coming directly from members of Congress where it seems fraud is being perpetrated as well. So I raised the issue, and fortunately, the House has now stripped that earmark out of that spending bill. But again, this is how easy money has been flowing to bad actors in Minnesota.
So when you question, why is it that these people are going out into the streets and attacking ICE? Do you really believe that the groups that are coordinating this, that are paying for it, that are getting these professional agitators and the signage and the coordination of banging on drums, and wait till you hear, I mean, in selecting the clips for you to listen to today, one of the things I didn't want to do was give you a driving headache. So imagine when you get some of these clips that I'm about to play, imagine if you were actually in real time having to listen to the horns and the everything that along with this. The agitators are agitating to an nth degree. But so why is it that people are going to this level? Well, clearly some people are just going to do it for the $17 or $20 an hour they're getting because they have nothing else going on in their life. There's other people because, like I said, liberalism is a disease, so they're just doing it because they want to be part of something. They want to be in a group. They're freaks, and so they're surrounded by more freaks, and so, misery loves company. But if you really stem down, why is this happening? It will be very difficult for the Democrats to continue with their fraud if they don't have straw men. And the straw men in the fraud are the illegal aliens. They are the refugees. They are the people who have very little. They are the people who believe that because white people are usually in leadership roles, that somehow, some way, they are blamed for all the ugly nuances that immigrants and people of color have to go through. This is why it never gets solved in these communities, because instead of looking at themselves in the mirror, looking at where they're lacking in leadership, looking at the fatherless homes, it's easier for them to point to the successful people. You're successful, and therefore you hold me back. You climbed over me to get to the mountain, and now I'm stuck down here, which is so far from the truth. I mean, how many times have we as a country bailed out these cities only for them to take what they're given, squander it away, do it through fraudulent actions? None of them ever want to build anything like you and I build. Nothing. And even if it's family, the only reason why these families are building families in some points is because they want the free welfare money. The more kids you have, the more money you get. It's a money-making machine for them. It really is. So they want ICE to stop because not I want to protect the illegal alien who just wants a better life, not I want to protect the Somali who now is loving the United States of America and is unfairly treated. No, they want to stop ICE because ICE could be the beginning of the end of the fraud, from the voting fraud to the welfare fraud to the hoisting a flag at town hall to say America has fallen to its knees. And so ICE may be the barrier that needs to be broken in order for us to never be able to stop the fraud. Ilhan Omar, I don't know why or how she's still allowed in this country, let alone to be a member of Congress. But instead of trying to keep people safe, instead of saying, hey, I want to get to the bottom of this fraud because a handful of Somalis are making an entire nation look corrupt, even though Somalia is at the top of the list of corrupt nations. And even though we know that Ilhan Omar, despite being here for a short period of time, has been married 4 times, 3, 4, depending on whether or not you think she married a brother. I mean, this woman has probably laid herself down for more men than we'll ever be able to count. Because that's what she is. She's a fraudster, and she'll do anything for money. Now worth $30 million through a whole scam that I believe she carried out with her husband. We did this on a show earlier. I think we nailed it perfectly. Instead of getting up and saying, I want to really get to the bottom of the fraud because we need to get rid of the bad actors, what she does, she turns up the heat, and she wants more people to go after ICE. In fact, she's telling people, she told them, I don't have it here in this clip, but she told people over the weekend on CBS, first of all, she claimed that the ICE agent jumped in front of purposely a moving car, which was completely untrue. And of course, they don't show the visuals on CBS. They just show it from the one direction where you can't tell anything. But they don't show that the ICE agent was indeed hit and that he didn't jump in front of the car, but that she was parked and she tried to get away, and run him over in the process, not caring about him, never hitting the brakes one time. But she tells people that they should record. Keep on recording ICE. That is taking gasoline on an already lit fire. Here is Ilhan Omar raging the groups of Somalis. Play it.
You all have refused to back down. You all have decided that this resistance is not one that can be intimidated. We are showing the nation that regardless of what the tyrant in the White House believes, we know that we are here to stay and this is our country. We are going to make a life here and we are going to stand up for our neighbors here in Minneapolis. As many of you know, they came to terrorize, abduct, and deport Somali immigrants here in Minnesota. When they couldn't find any because majority of us are legal residents and citizens, they decided to terrorize our Latino immigrants.
So see, these distractions and these false statements, they're all designed so this way everybody else takes their eye off the real fraud. Now, over the weekend, there was a report, and I had done one of my short videos on it. It went viral, thankfully. But the report is that Somalis, through couriers, have been up to $1 million per day going to the airport and flying it out of the country in suitcases and luggage. The TSA sees it, knows it, does nothing about it. The Somali says, hey, I'm declaring I'm taking this money out, $1 million in a suitcase. I mean, just this morning, they said they found another section of suitcases, I think up to about $700 million. Imagine that. Right now, there is a law in the United States. If you are driving in your car, and let's just say, for instance, you got a couple of $100, nothing, just in a rubber band, you got $1,000 in a rubber band. Let's say, for instance, let's really give it a more realistic thing. Let's say, for instance, you had a beautiful bedding set, cost you $8,000. You don't need it anymore. You put it on Facebook Marketplace. Somebody said, yeah, I'll buy it for $1,000. Only thing is, I don't have a truck. You say, I have a truck. I'll deliver it to you. Fine. You take the bed, you take it over, you drive across town. The person gives you $1,000 cash. You give it to them. You come back, you put the $1,000. You get the $1,000 sitting on your seat. And then you're coming back and what? Mistakenly, you blow a red light, you roll through a yellow, you go through a stop sign, whatever it may be. You get pulled over. You don't think twice about the $1,000 being on the side of the seat. The cop comes over and says, what's that money for? And because you're nervous, because you just got pulled over, you're trying to explain it. And the cop says, yeah, let me see the receipt. Oh, I didn't do a receipt. It was on Facebook Marketplace. That cop has the ability to confiscate your money. It could be a couple of $100. It could be $10,000. There's no limit. And this is coast to coast. This is a law, a federal law. They can take the money and they confiscate it as evidence, and now it is your burden. You have to present the burden of truth to get that money back. And yet the TSA is seeing $1 million in suitcases day after day after day after day leaving this country. They're not saying a thing. You're going to tell me that the Biden administration wasn't part of the scam? They're all part of the scam. That's why they keep on pushing for more immigration. It's not just votes. It's not just cheap labor. It's the scam. Because so many NGOs, so many top officials are getting filthy rich. Look at Ilhan Omar. She was $65,000 in debt for the longest time. She gets married to the guy who was running her campaigns and other campaigns throughout Minnesota for Amy Klobuchar and A.G. Ellison. This guy decides out of nowhere one day, right in the middle of all this fraud, that he's going to open up a venture capital firm. And I showed you here in the website last week. It's like it's total vanilla. So how hard it would it be? So what happens? Ilhan Omar says, listen, we know where all this fraud's taking place, but we've got to figure out a way to get it to you. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to send it to XYZ Group in Somalia, and XYZ Group is going to make sure that 123 Company is going to hire us for $1 million for consulting. And we're washing it through this angle, and everybody's taking care of everybody. Everybody's making money on the U.S. taxpayer. And somebody sits there and says, how did Ilhan Omar get $30 million? And she says, well, it's not me. It's through my husband's company. And then he's doing all this work overseas. It's so hard to track it down. And by the time anybody does track it down, if they even go to do it, he's already got the money. She's got the money. This is why you see it. It just keeps on recurring, going back and back and back. But going back to Ilhan Omar and, striking up the troops, so to say, now we've got Somalis basically empowered by her giving ICE, you're going to see a video right now, 2 ICE guys in the middle of a strip mall, maybe going in to get themselves something to eat. I don't know what they're there for, but now the Somalis are all circling these 2 men who are by themselves with a gang of Somalis, and they're backtreading. Play the video, Ryan. And I don't want you to think for a second that this is just all Ilhan Omar and Iranians that we're bringing in and all, Iraqis or whatever it may be. The fraud, the scumbag behavior, it flows through all Democrats. They are equal opportunity scum. I don't know if you saw my short video last night. I feel like Facebook doesn't put my stuff out there as much anymore. Who knows? I've come to realize that I only worry about things that I have control over. If I don't have control over it, I have to let it go, right? Either way, there is a black sheriff, female liberal in Philadelphia. Now, let me tell you something. First of all, Philadelphia has got to be one of the most corrupt cities when it comes to government officials in the entire country, probably battling it out with Chicago. Their elections are completely questionable. And in terms of crime, they are ranked 9th in the U.S. for the most crime-filled city. They've got their problems. But the black female, barely able to speak normal English, Ebonics professional, decided that she was going to send a warning to all ICE agents and President Trump that if ICE agents even tried to pull something like shooting a Renee Good, that they see that that is a crime. And President Trump's not going to be able to save you, ICE agent. I'm going to be arresting your ass, and you don't want this smoke. Ryan, play the video from the good sister.
Good afternoon. I'm Rochelle Bilal, the sheriff for the city and county of Philadelphia. And I say her name, Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. Renee Good. This should not have happened, but we're here today. Let know that law enforcement professionals, real ones, not the fake made-up ICE, probably Trump's new army to attack citizens of the United States. Did you hear what I said? No law enforcement professional wears a mask. None. None. Those that come into our communities wearing a mask to commit crime, thank God for our district attorney, Larry Krasner, who said he's going to lock him up. And I'm saying now, we are not going to whisk you away for them to hide your identity, because when you do it there, you're getting arrested there. No whisk away for them to hide you. None of that here. None of that here. Law enforcement professionals do not shoot at moving vehicles. I'm not saying fleeing, because she wasn't fleeing. She was getting out of the way. Law enforcement professionals do not stand in front of moving vehicles invoking an action that is illegal. No, we don't. And so we stand here today with all those who stand against the made-up, fake, what you can call ICE, professional law enforcement. I don't call them none of that. I call them made-up, fake, wannabe law enforcement. Because what they do is against not only legal law, but the moral law. So I'm with the DA, and we will work with them. If any of them want to come in this city and commit a crime, you will not be able to hide. Nobody will wish you off. You don't want this smoke, because we will bring it to you.
Oh, there's so much to unpack there, is there not? First of all, I mean, I never really like to bag and rag on somebody's looks, but I mean, come on, man. This DEI hire, you telling me you couldn't give her a dental plan? Can you give her a day off so this way she could at least appear a little bit presentable? I mean, it's bad enough when she opens her mouth, we got to listen to the words that she can't even make a clear sentence together. But I mean, God, to look at that like that, jeez. But, you know, getting further than that, more importantly, you listen to what it is that this freak just had to say. Real law enforcement officers don't wear masks. Really? What about when Joe Biden made everybody wear a mask? Every police officer was told they had to wear a mask. But I know that's not what she means. She means that the ICE officers are actually wearing masks. The reason why they're wearing masks, you absolute idiot, is because they're being doxxed. People are getting their faces and doing everything they can to get their identification, who they are, and then showing up at their homes and threatening their families because they're basically going out and trying to carry out the law and order. They're going after gang members, MS-13, TDA. They're going after murderers and assaults and people who've stolen identities. And they've got cartel that are warning that they're going to go take out ICE agents. You think they're wearing masks because they just want to go in? They want to try to be horrible and pull out crimes without getting caught? Only an absolute complete moron would think that. But this woman is a fraudster, just like all the other Democrats are fraudsters. She's in an elected position. She is a fraud carry-outing card member. And so that's what she's going to do. She's going to turn up the heat on ICE agents who have to go into Philadelphia, which is riddled with illegal aliens. And she's going to make it to where now these ICE agents have to live in greater fear than they already are. That is so un-American. And you got to ask yourself, who would really vote for that? Who would vote for that DEI hire? I can't think. I mean, yeah, you could tell me some of the black communities in Philadelphia will vote for him. And let's not forget, Democrats say that blacks, you know, they're not smart enough to go get a ID to vote, but they're smart enough to realize what a good sheriff would be. No, you're going to tell me that the majority of people who live in Philadelphia are voting for that? No way. That's a DEI hire that was snuck in through fraud. Time and time again. You don't want the smoke. Oh, give it a break, lady. Now, here's the craziest part of it all. I can't remember if it's Title IV or Title VI. It's one or the other. But there's a thing called the Supremacy Clause. And it basically says that federal law enforcement supersedes that of the state. So this woman is sitting here making a complete ass of herself, telling federal agents that we're going to arrest you and there's nothing that your president can do about it. Here's another woman who is upheld by the U.S. Constitution, has to be sworn in upon it, and yet she doesn't even know how to carry it out. Forget about trying to get her to speak a sentence. She can't carry out law. This is what we're up against. And the reason why she gets put into this place, make no mistake, is because the powers that be, the George Soroses, all these special interest groups that try to get DAs and sheriffs and radical people all put into place, they get the most stupid, asinine people who would never have a chance of growing to the top of the chain and getting themselves a job through their real merit. They place them in there because A, they can be bought, B, they can be controlled, and C, they're just too stupid to know otherwise. She is a shining example. She is the poster child. But she only gets outdone. She is outdone, and you may have seen this already, but it is so worth a play. She is only outdone by the little freaking troll Portland police chief with, I don't know if his hair is green or orange. I don't know what it is. But this flaming liberal gets up and starts crying in a press conference after two illegal aliens who are part of TDA, who are involved in trafficking and a prior shooting, they got shot at because they tried running down ICE officers. And this guy is going to cry, literally cry. Play it, Ryan.
I want to speak for just a moment specifically to my Latino community. It saddens me that we even have to qualify these remarks, because I understand, or at least have attempted to understand through your voices, your concern, your fear, your anger. This information in no way is meant to disparage or to condone or support or agree with any of the actions that occurred yesterday.
So understand that a collective effort from top cops, sheriffs, representatives of Congress, mayors, you name it, across the states, coast to coast, is triggering what we've seen happen over the weekend with these protests and riots, and there's fires in the street and rocks being thrown and people threatening ICE. There's this crackdown on ICE agents that is unjustified, and as far as I'm concerned, it's being allowed to go on too long. And if more people need to be a Renee Good, well then, too bad. ICE agents did not sign up to have to fend off of themselves from American citizens. And these top leaders, if you want to call those two cops leaders, Ilhan Omar a leader, they have a responsibility which they are failing. They are not keeping people at bay. They are not explaining to them that the rule of law supersedes all. What they're telling them is to rise up and forget about the law and hurt whoever's in front of you, because we need our fraud to continue. These people have been brainwashed because their liberal brains are weak as it is, and they just need something to look to. And so they're hearing that they should go out and do more. And that is exactly what is happening. This is a video of a liberal white female. Look at this woman. For those of you listening only, this woman is standing in front of ICE vehicles, blocking them in the middle of the road, begging the ICE agent to shoot her in the face. Play this. Is that worth $20? I mean, where are these people? Why aren't they working? Is that worth $20? Can you really tell me that woman is there because she believes that TDA and MS-13 are better in our country than back home? Come on, man. Come on. Now I take you to CNN, where a mob is going from hotel to hotel in Minnesota to try to find ICE agents. Tell me this isn't dangerous. Play.
So, Laura, right now we are in downtown Minneapolis. We've been following this protest outside of a hotel where these protesters believe federal agents may be staying. And just in the last few seconds, it appears they're trying to get actually inside this hotel. You can see this ramp that they were all around me a few seconds ago, and now they're up this ramp. I can see a door open to this particular hotel, and you can see and hear how much noise they're actually making right now. Earlier, they were shining lights on some of the windows, truly making as much noise as humanly possible to this point, banging on drums, blowing their whistles, out with their signs as well. This is at least the second hotel they have been to in the downtown Minneapolis area, appearing to be under the belief that agents are staying at the hotels at which they arrive. Now, again, you can hear the drums, but I can't emphasize enough, it was just a few seconds ago, as we're going to get closer to this ramp to see what we can see. Excuse me here. Where you can see the door open. It doesn't seem that they've made much more progress beyond that door opening and a good portion of them actually going in. Now, while there was law enforcement in this area a little bit earlier in the evening, we have not seen any in the last 30 minutes or so to this point, as they are now clearly, it seems to have breached at least one of the doors here, but at the very least, everyone out in the street. So, Laura.
Incredible. And, you know, the most important part of that entire clip is when the correspondent says there have been no police here. Do not think for one moment that that's just by happen chance. That's happening by design. They don't want the cops anywhere. They want to intimidate ICE into giving up. And I'd love to see Trump and Kristi Noem and the border czar, Tom Homan, triple and quadruple. I mean, I know they had over 100,000 applicants for ICE. Let's do a speedy hiring and get them everywhere. I mean, you can't do this because it would be against the law. They would, Democrats would just shut everything down. But man, wouldn't it be nice to have an ICE agent outside every single voter's booth to ensure? Let me see your ID. Make sure that you are legal. Now, I've talked to you many times about the white liberal female, and obviously you've got these groups of protester Antifa types paid for. Now I'm going to show you where things are getting really dangerous. Really dangerous. This video is of a white male threatening ICE with coming back with guns and shooting them. Play this, Ryan.
People need to fucking show up with guns to face you guys. It's fucking time for an armed resistance against the United States of America. Take your mask off. This is done. We're done. You're fucking murderers. You shot a woman in a wheelchair. We need to fucking come back with fucking weapons. Go to the gun store, get a gun, learn how to use it, and fucking face you guys man to man.
Okay. To supersede that in terms of dangerous, you can make an argument that that guy's got a mental illness problem and that, you know, he got caught up in the moment and maybe, you know, says things that he wish he didn't say. I can tell you this, he's on a list now. He's on an FBI list. There's no doubt. You go on an FBI list. What winds up happening here is that when these videos circulate, everybody winds up going and sending them to the FBI. And I know this for a fact because I've had some conversations over the weekend to confirm that that's what's happening. And the FBI is getting repeated sends of the same video over and over. This is one of the videos that the FBI has recently gotten, and where I see this as more frightening than some guy who may be getting caught up in his rhetoric. This is a guy who literally went through the process of filming himself and then posting it. So there is no, I got caught up in the moment. This is so dangerous. Play it, Ryan.
Dear ICE, here's a message from your friendly neighborhood leftist. Not all of us are going to stop at snowballs in the future. So maybe think twice before you just start randomly shooting into vehicles. And some of us aren't just going to fucking randomly fire into things. Some of us actually know how to aim. So, you don't have to take my advice if you don't want to. But I'm pretty sure we're going to hit a tipping point pretty soon. And if you guys don't reconsider your tactics, you're going to start going home in body bags or Ziploc bags. I really don't give a shit either way.
Now, if that's not unhinged to you, and for those people who are just listening to this program and not seeing it, the pause, the quiet, the 3 bullet shots you hear, I mean, he's at a range shooting a very well-equipped AR-15, it appears, with scopes and everything, and he shows the target that he hit, center mass and center brain. And so, that I know that video has been sent to the FBI, and the FBI is looking into it. But this is what ICE agents are up against. This is what Democrats are trying to carry out. And we are at a very, very, very strange point here in the United States. It is a line, and we are tap dancing on the line. If we don't do the right thing and we don't make the right calls and we don't step up what we need to do, we're going to fall off the line to the other side, and that's off the cliff. If we stay strong, keep our spine tough, do never, ever, ever cower to these people, no matter what their threats are, we can bring the country back over into a place of greatness. And I don't have the time today, but we'll do a little bit of it tomorrow. There are lots of things that Trump is doing to initiate a stronger, more robust economy. And if these things start to hit, well, favoritism will go towards the Republican Party, Trump, and MAGA. But it will matter little if we do not have secure elections. So SAVE Act is the name of the act. And if you're only going to send one email today to anybody, send it to your senator. Tell them you want the SAVE Act, even if it means that the filibuster needs to be nuked. If we do not win this next election, I can tell you that all of the efforts that Trump makes are going to be futile, because they're all going to be undone, and we're going to wind up seeing our country just fall into the deep, dark abyss. That's it for us today. We appreciate you in a big way. One more time for Ginger. She's a Team DML member. She's got stage 4 cancer. Asked for all of your prayers. So for people who came in late on the show, I ask you to please give Ginger a loving prayer. And also, please, if you don't mind, teamdml.com. If you could go to teamdml.com and become a member, it only costs $20 for the entire year. You'll never miss a video. I look at the numbers here. Facebook, if they don't want to put us out to the masses, we can't be seen. So if you're not getting the notification from Facebook, you're not going to you're going to miss us. And we're starting to transfer a lot of our energy over to YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, please give us a subscribe. It is free, and you'll get the notification. And YouTube seems to be a lot nicer about giving the live feed to people than Facebook. I mean, I got 1.6 million, just shy of 1.6 million, and we're getting a couple of hundred people. So clearly, Facebook is not in favor of our message, but you are. So hit the share button, subscribe to us on YouTube. You'll find it. You'll see me. It has a blue check mark, and just search for Dennis Michael Lynch. You'll see it. And if you can, $20, get you a membership. You'll never miss a show. You'll never miss a video. You'll get notifications. You get all the newsletters, all the articles, especially like my wife and I did a show over the weekend. You get all that. So please, it's a way of supporting us, and it's a way of you getting as much information as you want from our side. TeamDML.com, just $20. Hope to see a lot of members come in today. Helps me pay the bills. I don't take anything because I'm retired. I'm doing this out of the love of country and a love for you. Until tomorrow, God willing. And Joe, just by the way, as a little side note, I'm trying to work something out to where we're going to be doing an hour interview here in Florida with Scott Pressler. I was just on the phone with him earlier today. He's the guy who's leading all the voting registries across the country. He'd be an interesting talk. I think we're going to be setting up with him on Wednesday, maybe play for that for you on Thursday or Friday. So you help pay for us to get down there. All right. So until next time, may God bless you, our country, our president, and all the ICE agents. Stay well.
This Michael Lynch podcast every day by subscribing on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and download the DML News app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store for breaking news, merchandise, films, exclusive content, and Team DML. Get the Dennis Michael Lynch podcast every day by subscribing on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and download the DML News app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store for breaking news, merchandise, films, exclusive content, and Team DML. Get the Dennis Michael Lynch podcast every day by subscribing on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and download the DML News app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store for breaking news, merchandise, films, exclusive content, and Team DML. Get the Dennis Michael Lynch podcast every day by subscribing on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and download the DML News app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store for breaking news, merchandise, films, exclusive content, and Team DML. Get the Dennis Michael Lynch podcast every day by subscribing on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and download the DML News app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store for breaking news, merchandise, films, exclusive content, and Team DML. Get the Dennis Michael Lynch podcast every day by subscribing on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and download the DML News app from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store for breaking news, merchandise, films, exclusive content, and Team DML.